Good evening, Super Metroid fans. Oh my goodness, do we have a special one for you here tonight on Speed Gaming 5 Super Metroid Dash Mystery Tournament, the final match in the Swiss portion of the tournament. My name is the Hockey Towner, and I'm joined by D-Web. How's it going, D-Web?
I'm having a great Friday, and this is sure to be an absolute treat for all of us. As you said, we have our lone undefeated runner, mm2nescartridge, and Nevdi, the undefeated runner from our previous Swiss tournament, looking to take him down and, knock him down a few notches. He's definitely gotten quite a bit better over these last few years, and a lot of confidence, a lot of conviction, a lot of words to say, and a lot of arms to pump. But Nevdi no slouch in his own right, as we are underway here quickly as our two competitors were talking in the race time chat about their desire to not have the item split that has appeared on your screen. Full countdown for our runners today. And we have a vanilla charge beam, no starter to speak of.
So vanilla charge, full countdown. We saw some frowny faces in the race time room, perhaps. But yeah, it all comes down to this. Both runners, you said, D-Web, have locked into the playoffs, but there are some seeding ramifications to the outcome of this match, in addition to the bragging rights.
Yes, definitely. MM2 being undefeated would completely seal the number one seed with a victory. If Nevdi is victorious, the top three seeds would go Farfalu 1, Nevdi 2, and MM2 seed number 3. I believe if Nevdi loses, he gets like seed 5 or something like that.
Like I knocked all the way down to 5, but we do have some incredibly strong runners from top to bottom going into the playoff bracket. And nothing too exciting here yet, just that vanilla morph location. I always love to see runners split construction zone versus the rest of Blue Bryn. I don't know which one's faster.
I will tell you that that mock ball, the MM2, looks really fast. However, especially in full with the 4-2, I really like going down for the opportunity to get power bombs, which we're not going to see, because Billy Mays is a lot more attractive when you've got 4 majors and 2 E-tanks here in the criteria / Brew Brinstar area. But no such luck. It's not going to be of any real consequence. We to get major number 2 in the bombs here in the ceiling.
For sure. That does mean we will see a Bomb Terizo fight, but doubling up on supers here early, D-Web, I really like this. I know that ammo can become kind of a hassle depending on how hard charge beam is to find. And our runners do not have that advantage, as you said, of that starter charge beam like you sometimes see in Dash.
Yeah, so a little bit of a backstory about the tournament, as we've talked extensively about our runners. It's a mystery tournament, like we talked about. This is a tournament where you do not know the parameters of your seed going in. So there were 3 possible item splits. We got the full countdown knowledge. You can have 3 different charge beam options. We found out we got vanilla charge. And then there's different ammo ratios you can find, boss randomizations. The map can be area or vanilla map, and there's a few other potential Dash specific items that may or may not be in the seed. You have to discover them as you go, so always have to be adaptable to whatever the seed throws at you, whether that be interesting item placements, a different item split than you're maybe used to. The map can be laid out in any variety of ways. Some of these, especially the area seeds, the maps can get really, really interesting. So see how our runners decide to handle things as Nevdi with the ledge grab climb. A little bit of mess up there at the end, but not too bad. MM2 a little bit more trouble there at the end of his wall jump climb. Has the runners very close to each other. We are going to see 230 checked with the bombs, and I know Hockey talked about the Bomb Terizo fight should our runners elect to head that way. There's been a lot of movement away from that check in full specifically. I disagree with the extremely bold and extremely early skip, especially without certain things. Like, for example, our runners don't yet have power bombs, and the fight is really fast. The place itself is both our runners get the morph, but MM2 gets the mock ball out. It's I think I said this once on commentary last year. Every year it seems like check get farther and further away from you. As Nevdi's skipping.
Oh wow!
I expected it to happen at least on one side. I
This is
don't
super
like this.
interesting. Do you think this is just like a pop to Terminator and see if it is, and then turn around and maybe go back to Bomb Teresa? Because it's just more supers. MM2, though, rewarded with missiles, so maybe this will be a decent play here from Nevdi. Yeah, keep on trucking, D-Web. Nevdi going for it. But like you said, we're going to have a very short BT fight with all these supers.
Yes, and we get the moment of truth here. It is a vanilla map.
Oh my goodness.
Our runners were talking about some potential nonsenses that definitely weren't going to happen, but yeah, full countdown vanilla map. Not the favorite of some of our runners here in this tournament. The somewhat linear nature of both the start and the decision making can make things a little bit less nuanced and also more volatile in some ways and not in others. But we have parameters and the randomizer rolls, what it rolls, and like you said, you find it out and you deal with it. We've got a 2-3 green Bryn, some nice counts early as we didn't find either E-Tank in the criteria, and we are still looking for our first power bombs.
Yeah, Gauntlet not really in the picture with regular bombs. You could only check the front of it. An E-Tank is nice in addition to that reserve tank found at Old Mother Brain, but a lot of supers here early. Makes you wonder if Charge is going to be really off the beaten path. That's 20 already for our runners with only 5 minutes into this race. But yeah, I agree with you. It's vanilla map, full countdown, and they're really being hard gated here to come down to Green Bryn with no explosives, with the exception of morph bombs.
Yeah, and there's an E-Tank under this bridge, so we're not even going to be able to see the Edikins area for the time being. The power bombs definitely not showing their faces at the earliest moments in this seed, but we are going to be happy here. 2+1 already. There's another tank in here, but we'll see what the seed decides to give us. As far as things that we can find, you do not want to be without power bombs for too long. There's 3 items down that power bomb block, and then there's 2/3 more power bomb locked items here at the big pink area, and especially once you get the red tower, you are really going to be wanting for those more powerful explosives. But some good movement here. Nevdi with that BT skip has pulled out to a positional lead. That singular missile, very unlikely to be impactful as this race goes along, especially with, like you said, all of the supers we found.
Oh my goodness. Already up to 25 here. It's almost Ridley ammo. But really, like you said, loving to see some power bombs down here in Bryn. Maybe here at the charge location. Grapple Beam, not a bad major, so that at least wipes off the majors for Green Bryn Star here. But would love to find power bombs at Green Hill Zone. Or how about charge? How about that, D-Web?
There it is. We got both majors and 2 of the 3 energy tanks out of here. We've got grapple. We don't even need to do anything difficult to get X-ray if there are majors in Red Bryn Star. I assume we're going to look at this Green Hill Zone. Again, vanilla charge, so you're pretty much looking for ammo in full, where you have to check so many items anyway. You might as well just run into all the ammo and probably get enough if the charge beam doesn't show up early. But even if it does, your beams, other than charge, can be a little out of the way. So gonna be happy to just run in the missiles, run in the supers, get 2 powerbomb packs in a row, and really not be worried about things here for a little bit ammo wise.
Yeah, a 3rd powerbomb pack would put them into Crystal Flash ammo, but I don't know if Kraid turns out to be Ridley. I think 2 and 1 is just extremely tight. But Nevdi going up the red tower here in 2 majors, so perhaps going to check Alpha Beta PBs first before heading back down, or heading all the way to the wrecked ship.
Yes, that is already 8 of our at least 16 majors here found in the first 3 areas. So pretty front-loaded things so far. And yeah, there are 3 items up here, 2 of them in this one room. These are the quicker ones. MM2 is actually going to do a check here in Bryn Star for this blue Bryn Star powerbomb location. See if he can net something good. An E-Tank, you definitely take that. Oh, there is big major number 1, the gravity suit. There is a potential for the gravity suit to do a nominal amount of heat reduction. It's 25% chance that it's on, and it's only 25% reduction, but Very nice item to have early on. We don't have too much other movement. We do have the grapple. That helps out in a few Meridian rooms, as well as bombs to potentially IBJ to some places, but good find early can potentially impact where you want to go from here. But I expect, unless this is also a major.
Oh my gosh. So there's Charge Beam. Not exactly off the beaten path as predicted, D-Web.
Exactly as predicted, so we'll see how we're going to decide to do things. Definitely, I don't see you stopping at 10 missiles, because 10 missile fan tune is definitely possible, but it's not super comfortable, and there's a lot of places where having missiles is fine. At least get up to 20, maybe 25, but yeah, unless we find other beams and quickly, the charge beam that we found really doesn't matter that much right now. It just means that nothing is going to soft lock you like Botswoon, for example. But yeah, again, the BT skip as well as not going into Blue Burn Star. Nevdi pulling quite a bit ahead here positionally, but things are definitely not over yet.
I think there's a little bit of muscle memory, like wanted to check the space item location, then realized it's sitting at 0-0 here in Red Brinstar. But yeah, I figure you got to figure D-Web having 10 missiles. That's got to be twice as good of a Fantoon fight as 5 missiles, right? It's just simple mathematics.
Oh, 0-0 West Meridian.
Wow.
I do like that scout of the numbers here before going and seeing. You're going to get the Norfair number really quickly in the elevator, and then you can also peek over at the Kraid layer numbers. 5-1.
Wow. So incredibly stacked upper Norfair. That means Croc's got to have some goods. It's just a matter of how good those goods are. But we don't know if there's vanilla bosses or boss shuffle or boss surprise or boss shifted. But Nevdi actually going to be bailing on Kraid's warehouse. I think this is a pretty smart play. At least go ahead and grab the business center items if there are any.
Yeah, 0-1, so you're not worried about missing any majors. And even on the pretty small chance in the grand scheme of things that you have exactly shuffled Fantoon there, you're not heading to the wreck ship anytime soon. So if that happens to be the boss, that would unlock all the items up there, which frankly with 5-1 you're not super worried about at this point. You could get those things later, but that E-Tank that M2 scouted, if Varia or the lone E-Tank here doesn't show up pretty quickly, may be pretty good. Nevdi technically has the ability to Crystal Flash, but he would need to farm his missiles to full.
Yeah, still looking for that insurance missile pack. MM2 already getting to 20 power bombs. Nevdi picking those up here at the high jump location. So next going to go to ice most likely. Oh, just stacking up on power bombs now. My goodness, a lot of this is a very explosive seed, D-Web.
Yes, it is. M2 has done a couple extra checks with that. The BT check in the fight, he did the Retro Brinstar power bombs extra check. He's now also done the Spacer. Gotten a missile, an E-Tank, and a power bomb. So at least one of those you're happy about, especially when you see this 5 number in Upper North. I wouldn't be surprised if M2 literally just goes down the elevator. He is going to scout.
Yeah, I like this play from M2, but I really like the play from Nevdi to take a save there at Frog Speedway. You know, if ice turns out to be a bust. Oh, and speaking
of ice,
Croc Escape's got Ice Beam. Interesting.
Yeah, he's also trying to get his health up high. He has something in his reserves. I do not know how much he has in reserves. Almost certainly not full. He hasn't had a dedicated farm spot. So wants to be careful here, and especially with the difficulty that the Crumble Tower can present, the save is definitely well advised, as MM2 going to come here first. His health theoretically could have been better, but really wasn't much better. But also, I like this play better if you are in full. Go down and look at Crumble Tower first, and then go to ice. Here, the screw attack's probably going to be really good, as that is an E-Tank. That's the only one here in Upper Norfair. MM2.
Be careful, MM2.
The fact that this is an E-Tank means he's mostly fine, and he does have Spring Ball if he remembers that to just jump out of here for free. But
he's fine. Who was I kidding, D-Web?
He elects to just do the crumble jumps, which you can buffer, and there is some amount of frame window, which I'm not super aware of, but the screw attack's actually really nice for this room, especially without a nice beam. These enemies are kind of annoying to kill, and Nevdi definitely doesn't want to use his missiles. as he's gonna unload those 15 reserves here.
Oh,
And
gosh.
I assume
75
also
here.
pick this up. Ooh, he probably wants that, but it's difficult.
I think this is, if he doesn't grab this, it's really going to slow him down if he wants to go to Cathedral.
Yeah, he opened that door. He's gonna farm these up, and then he needs to be smart. It was also possible he did get all those missiles back that he could have just crystal flashed and then had full health to do this. But this is definitely the better play because now you still have your CF for probably the rest of the hell runs that you're gonna do, and then very smart to use the wall jumps. The side of the crumble blocks don't crumble. It's only on the top.
How clever is that? So MM2 is got to check high jump. Well, he doesn't
As well
have
as see
to,
that ice beam.
but he most likely will. But Nevdi's going to go full throttle here, I think, D-Web, and go to bubble.
Yeah, for sure. It's also really funny. The old wisdom in major minor was to go ice first and then high jump. That way, if there's an E-tank in the high jump area, you refill for the hull run. The exact opposite happened here where they both went to ice and the crumble tower was the E-tank, and Nevdi's pretty well full, where MM2 has 201 energy. So funnily enough, it worked a lot better for Nevdi, and I was talking about how much better I liked the crumbles check first, but in exactly this situation, it worked out a lot better for Nevdi. He's going to save. I expect we're going to see the run through Cathedral. Gravity does make things a lot more comfy in a couple of rooms, especially if there happens to be an item at Cathedral proper. The gravity suit negates lava damage as well as makes you move normally through it. So
Gotta love
it's also got that crystal flash.
Crystal flash. You can pop it if necessary. If things get really, really dicey. But yeah, exactly the same, only different than conventional major minor wisdom, as you said, D-Web. And there we have our insurance missile pack guaranteeing crystal flash opportunity here.
Yep, and we're gonna see MM2 probably do quite a bit of farming here. If he wants to stay down here, he can reset this room several times. There is that Meridia escape farm that you see in the early Norfair RBO runs. If you're on 2+1, that's typically where people fill that reserve. That is a couple of elevator rides, but frankly, as many times as you're going to reset this room, it's probably worth it.
Question
don't know for certain, but yeah, the power bombs, they keep coming. Nevdi with a very nice hell run. Only needed the 3 tanks. It is 4 logically, but that logic is if you're not someone quite as good as Nevdi. For me, I definitely would have dipped into those reserves here on only 3+1. He's doing so right side bubble mountain.
Unbelievable from Nevdi. But MM2 going to be coming up to 20 missiles here as he makes his way through the Cathedral. Nevdi, though, into the Bat Cave, going to have to really turn on the afterburners here. Jay gets to this farm location just in the nick of time. Let's see what's in store for him at Speed Booster. But another 3 checks at reserve, another 2 checks at double chamber / wave beam, and we already know that one of those majors is a Croc Escape.
That's right, Ice Beam known, so we're looking for 3 additional majors. This definitely makes sense as the first check. Nevdi has not yet spent a Crystal Flash. M2 did that in the Cathedral room, so he wanted to refill his resources. He's full on all of his ammo. He's got definitely filled up his E-tanks. Don't know about the reserve. Excuse me.
Oh, now look at this from MM2, going for this hypo jump here, trying to get to the Norfair reserve. Nevdi now with good missile count. 2 crystal flashes possible with full missiles. But this is just, oh, look at, a little slingshot.
Ooh, look at that charge beam coming in with the plasma also acquired here at the speed missile. Without the speed, it kind of doesn't matter which order you check that in. So it'd be pretty nice to find here as MM2 looked at the first item here, Norfair Reserve. Probably just going to elect to go towards speed with the refill there. So
yeah, I think
runner's close, but Nevdi, especially without burning a crystal flash yet, better on resources. Oh, as I speak, there's the crystal flash.
There's the CF. Yep.
The extra ammo M2 got early, as well as that extra E-tank, not looking like they matter right now. So just have to see what befalls our runners at this point. Grapple negates the need for a D-boost here. Very nice to see that utilized as intended.
You love the intended strats in this game. You don't see them often, But if they're going to give you grapple at charge missiles, then heck, we're going to use it, D-Web.
Absolutely.
But 35 supers plus charge plasma, it's just kind of like the seed is just kind of baiting you into making a decision about whether you're going to continue to pick up minor items or not.
Yeah. Oh
no!
Nevdi was committed to picking up that check and gets the spacer.
Oh, how unfortunate.
Very useful quality of life opened up by Dash last year. You don't have to re-equip plasma; it stays on, but it is.
Oh, that is nice. QOL.
A complete and utter waste of fanfare time. You did not need that for any purpose. Spacer having utility in basically suitless Meridia only, and we have the gravity suit, so MM2 can save some time if he can manage to skip that.
Yeah, for sure. Especially because you saw him get down to single-digit health. I know he has reserves, but still, it's tough farming these bugs. But it's an honest way to make a living, isn't it, D-Web?
Yes, it is. It's kind of funny. I hadn't ever really thought about this until Map Rando had gotten more popular. But if you think about the farm spots in the Super Metroid game, here's our last major. That's gonna make getting ice way better because our other option. Well, no, we had grapple, so I was thinking our other option was IBJ. But yeah, double jump, one of those dash items. Nice to see. Gonna be welcome. It is a nice little movement augment. But I was gonna say, with Map Rando getting more popular, like all of the good farm spots are in heated rooms. It's kind of insane.
It really is. Oh my gosh. So Nevdi popped another crystal flash there, showing off the utility of this double jump. Perhaps. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yes, all the way to the top of double chamber. Very nicely done. Another super missile here for MM2.
Yeah, some very heads up farming here.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, this is such an interesting seed so far, even though it doesn't quite give us the intricacy and the panache that we're used to seeing. But still, we haven't seen a single boss, and I wonder if Nevdi is going to check on Croc here.
Yeah, I like coming down here. Obviously, there is an Ice Beam reward. There's also the Nutella refill, and you can take the Croc save. Look into Crocomire, see if he's got any goodies for us. But we do know there's nothing in West Meridia, but we do not know about East. We also don't know about wrecked ship, but we're pretty much looking for the various suit, unless the heat shield also happened to be on in this seed, as MM2 does not need to hypo this time, and he also didn't need to super, but that was a little bit less important. He's probably also going to be looking at a Crystal Flash here, and going to be finding the final major of Upper Warfare quite useless.
Yeah, I did think that MM2 was just going to bail on this, and I was really hoping he would because he'd really tighten him up with Nevdi so much. But unfortunately, also grabbing that space or letting those reserves pop and setting up for that CF.
So there is that save. In area randomization, you can leave Crocomire when you find him. In vanilla map, it works like it normally does. You come in there and the door locks, and it's 0, so we're piecing.
Gosh. So a West Meridia 0-0, a Crocomire 0-0, a Crade's Warehouse with what, 1? If that?
1 E-Tank.
1 E-Tank, so not even a major. So East Meridia, it's got to be it. It has to be. By process of elimination, it's got to be it.
Yeah, so there are at least 4, potentially 5 more majors here in this seed, and we have not seen East Meridia, Lone Warfare, and Wreck Ship. Those would be the places to find things, but given that what we're looking for is basically just the various suit, it's not going to be in Lone Warfare, of that I can assure you.
I'm calling back to the hit movie from the 90s, Waterworld. Wreck Ship is a myth, just like dry land. I'm calling it right now, D-Web. Varia is in East Meridia. It's behind Botoon. I've seen this episode before. I'm from the future, D-Web.
I'm curious to see if Nevdi elects to do the Crate boss here, or at least check it. Like I was talking about a little bit earlier, the only way you would ever really want to do this exactly right now, well, I guess there's 2. The big one is if this is shuffled Fantoon and you want to check the wreck ship items. The other one is if, well, especially shuffled Ridley, but even shifted Ridley, would give you the ability to think about foregoing the need for the various suits. If you expect there to be only 1 Ridley in the seed, and it's here, the Lord Warfare will run significantly easier if there's no heated boss at the end.
That's true, D-Web. That's very true. Heads up save here from Nevdi. And MM2 resetting after discovering Croc had absolutely nothing.
So I do like this play. This is the definitely safer and more thorough way to do this, as mm2 didn't even need that grapple beam to come over here. Nice double jump into a wall jump. So he has definitely come close here. He needs to get out of here quickly. Yeah, it's a matter of where you go exactly right now, what this boss ends up being, and also resource management, because if you are used to how things were handled in the very randomizer, suits work a little bit differently. You do not get full enemy reduction from the gravity suit. Basically, both suits are the same if they're by themselves, with the little bit of a hitch that gravity obviously doesn't have that heat protection that Varia does. As they have a vanilla crate here.
Wow. Okay. Well, this I wouldn't say this changes anything much. It is nice to get a boss out of the way, and it feels like you're making satisfactory progress towards the end of the game. Crate not too shabby. Crate quick kill, very nice from Nevdi. But I wonder, like, what do you have to go to ship after this, right? Do you have, like, what other play do you have? Or do you force, you know, Meridia?
I think I go East Meridia here. It's a little bit closer, and especially if you see a low count for the majors, you could potentially just be thinking about ship. I've been told from people who have run numbers on different kinds of outcomes that once you find one vanilla boss, the chance that the mystery seed rolled vanilla bosses goes up to like 2/3 or something like that.
Wow,
because
okay.
it's unlikely in any of the randomized boss modes that the one boss is random, just because of how the numbers work.
Sure.
So that also makes you think that probably you can go to the wreck ship and open it. Nevdi did find the E-Tank in this area. Very nice refill. You saw MM2 just head in here for the refill. He was definitely preparing for a Ridley fight, I want to say. Yeah, he's going to farm this reserve up, and not going to be the best usage of time.
Unfortunately, no. I agree with you there, Diwa. So Nevdi is going to pop up into West Meridia. I don't know if he's going all the way to the top of Everest and back to Red Tower, but I feel like going all the way up to the wreck ship and then all the way down to Lower Norfair, it feels like a longer pathing, but it probably isn't. It might be very similar than if they do East Meridia first.
Yeah, especially with Charge Ice Plasma, definitely no need to check anything in a 0-0 West Meridia. Some very nice usage of that double jump here we're seeing from Nevdi. Meridia with no movement items is kind of but even just the augment of one additional jump, really, really nice. Yeah, these doors are ammo doors. 0-2.
Wow.
Just turned around.
Instead, what are we going to see here? We're going to see Botun Dragon, Forgotten Highway wrecked ship, Varia, Lower Norfair? Like, that's possible.
Yeah, you are 100% sure that your Varia suit is in wreck ship. It's the only place it can possibly be at this point. And this is, again, this is the absolutely most safe place, because, again, if Phantoon is shuffled and not home, you do need to kill shuffled Phantoon to unlock the wreck ship. But, again, it is most likely that the bosses are vanilla. And while you did already come here and you're probably going to be able to kill this boss, especially if Nevdi ends up at full supers, really would be possible but difficult on this equipment. But
yeah,
pathing wise, it's probably not much worse, especially if you just kill this boss and then, like I said, wreck ship has Varia. It's the only option.
It's the only option. It's just a matter of where in wreck ship. And now with 5-1, you know, like you said, if this is Ridley, this is way comfier than 4-1. But yeah, Nevdi is going to farm here, try to get those supers up. MM2 leaving Crade's warehouse now. Curious what his pathing is going to be, if he's going to follow along the path that Nevdi has been on. The seed hasn't had a lot of opportunity for divergence, unfortunately, due to all the goose egg areas in it.
Probably this is the biggest one if MM2 just elects to go to the wreck ship and find his Varia suit, which likely is behind the boss that is there. But Nevdi is going to give us that information here quickly. I expect a Dragon here, but it is mystery and it is randomizer, so you doubly don't know versus what you would normally expect.
Expect the unexpected, right, Duo?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna see the save. It's MM2. The decision point is once you pop into that pre-aqueduct door and see the 0-2. He's having a little bit of trouble here getting the wall jumps, but not the double jumps. And for reasons I really don't know, is he doing like air timing and not water timing? That would be my guess.
Maybe, yeah, because I know you can just spam it underwater.
And there he got it, but he was too low. There he got it again, too low.
All right, so what are our odds up to now, D-Web? Are they 99% vanilla?
It's something very, very high. And at this point, you know for a fact that the boss and wreck ship unlocks it, so that even more gives you the inkling that it's just going to be a vanilla Phantoon, because Shifted Ridley, spoilers for those out there not in the know, cannot hide the various suit. So if it could be a surprise double Dragon or crate or something like that. That would be kind of fun. But
that would be fun. But it seems like the odds are overwhelmingly against that possibility, unfortunately.
M2 is going to follow. There was some comments in chat about the chance for shuffled Phantoon is probably worth the slightly less optimal routing. Although, again, because of already being here, I don't really know how much better or worse it would have been to stay here versus not. Nevdi is going to take the drops, but not look at the item. Double jump. Once again, very handy here. No gravity jump, no IBJ. Just a wall jump and a double jump.
Yeah, it's a really nice item, especially to get early. I mean, everyone would love to have space jump, but it's definitely not a bad consolation prize. We've seen a lot of usage of it down here in Meridia, especially with no high jump and, you know, no other stuff, no other movement items, really.
Yep.
So then you route up to wreck ship. I feel like if MM2, he's got tons and tons of ammo. He potentially could have 3 crystal flashes if he wanted to. If he picked up like 1 or 2 more missile packs, like, do you then just go fight the ghost and then just hell run all the way? Like, what could you do? Like, if Varia's at bowling, for instance, or something like that.
Well, if you're gonna skip Varia, you're just not gonna go up to wreck ship. I would think he does have what 6-1. Nevdi did not show us. I don't even think he might have shown us Precious, but he didn't show us the space jump item. So I don't know if the other E-Tank is available, but given you know where the various suit is, the only potential hitch in your path to victory is speed booster somewhere in criteria, and then you have to get it at the reserve. But those odds, like this is full and it's dash, like the idea that your various suit would be at exactly Norfair Reserve in this exact spot, and that the speed booster is also tucked somewhere away in criteria, pretty low percentage. You feel pretty comfortable. I would expect to play against those odds. It's not like you have outstanding areas you don't know where things could be. Like if there was a major waterway and you were outstanding speed, maybe that whole run crosses your mind a little bit more.
Maybe.
I feel like personally, you know where it is, just go get it.
Yeah, it's an excellent point, D-Web. Love the analysis. But I'm just looking for ways that MM2 can claw back into this, because Nevdi is just in a firm lead right now.
I guess I have, in all of my low percentage analysis, I have foregone exactly one possibility, which is that Varia, despite being in the wreck ship, doesn't have to be locked by the boss. There is the ocean missile and the spooky missile. Those do not need you to kill the boss. So
that's true.
This could technically still be Ridley, but you'd have to run into Varia very soon. And maybe, just maybe, Moat will give you something good. That'd be a kindness the seed could show you.
The seed has been pretty kind, especially when it comes to ammunition to these runners, but pretty stingy on those key movement items like the high jump boots and the speed booster. It was interesting. It looked like MM2, or I should say Nevdi, was not going to reopen that power bomb door. Maybe showing just a flash that maybe going to consider taking Forgotten Highway back to East Meridia. I don't know if that's the fastest play, though. Really depends on where Speed Booster is. See, I think you grab those missiles. I don't know. I'm all for more
600 damage. You really, for the charge beam, and like we're getting Varia at this point. The missiles
are we
is actually plenty.
Are we getting Mario?
I would be more surprised than that viral picture of Pikachu if we don't.
Well spoken. Well spoken, duo. It's a little spooky check here.
Yes.
What's it gonna be?
There it is.
Oh, you're no fun.
We're shooting. I don't really know why we're shooting, but there is that various suit.
Oh my gosh.
I suppose it's the case that you could have come up early, but you had gravity and like no.
Yeah, I
don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, is it faster to go shoot to the top and go just slog your way all down to the bottom, or to just work your way up to the top and then make a U-turn and dive down deep into the bottom with no possibility of taking heat damage anymore? And
There's Vanilla Boss number 3. As expected. You do have Charged Plasma. Ice, not quite enough for the full Charge 2 round, but you get a free 6 Doppler on round 1 if you so like, and then from there, that's what you'd need, like a 5 Doppler plus a Super on the second round. Something like that.
Something like that. So some of the calculators in chat will do the math for us. Let's be honest with ourselves. Wow, what an air Doppler from Nevdi. That was really nice.
And that might have been a 7, which is better but more difficult than the charge shot. But if you're used to it, like, I'm not as skilled a runner as either of these two. So close. That was... Oh, and then the slow punish. It always happens. Fan2 knows you wanted to do a 2-round, and he says, "Ha, take this on round 3." You know, I was just going to say, I can't 2-round. My Dopplers aren't that great, so if I can use charge shot and get much easier fights, that's what I'm going to do. But you got those 2 rounds in your wheelhouse. Just go for them. It was extremely nicely done until, like, barely mistimed super at the end round.
Just so close on that super. MM2 also skipping those missiles, so definitely knows he's going to run into Varius through D-Web. And oh boy, is he going to run into it quickly once he reaches the ship here.
Yes. You have basically like one cheeky check you could do at left super. It's really fast, but I don't expect, frankly, either runner to even do that, but definitely after that, you're not doing anything. Yeah, Nevdi, he even opened that door with the powerbomb. He's like, no, I'm going. It's like the game is winnable. I've got a good beam. I've got good ammo. I've got good health. My movement could be better, but you've got the double jump and like whatever. MM2 did not waste time shooting at that various suit. Is on the hunt. He probably doesn't necessarily know exactly what his position is, but basically throughout from that BT skip, Nevdi's just had a positional lead. And it has grown with a couple of extra checks from MM2 as well as a little bit of trouble in Everest. But they made pretty much the same decisions throughout the seed.
For sure. Just a little bit of, order difference in terms of checking things off a business center and checking, doubling back to do Norfair Reserve, I should say. And then, I mean, a lot of the decisions, like I said earlier, in this seed, a lot of these decisions have been made for the runners as soon as they got to a new area, just because they have no majors, or maybe just one, and it's a really easy one to get.
0 Crade, 0 Croc, 0 West Meridia, 0 East Meridia.
Funny with huge.
The early gravity suit, the very easily obtainable ice beam, and literally no majors in any Meridia. Funny how the randomizer laughs at you sometimes. It's like, I mean, you need these items to beat the game, so get them, right? You don't necessarily need them for other items. But
for sure. And I gotta say, D-Web, that was about as nice a fan tune as anyone's gonna see here from MM2. That was spectacular.
He's definitely been executing well throughout the seed, and as stated, our only undefeated runner through to this week. Been playing really well, and just a few extra checks, and Nevdi also playing equally well.
For sure. Calculated risk from Nevdi on his skips. Unfortunately, cannot utilize the Frog Speedway, so we're going through Cathedral again. No speed booster, and also Spazer wouldn't work because it only works from right to left. Thanks, devs.
Yes, the very intended speedless speedway, which would also require the wave beam, does not work from the left side.
Oh, details. The only major besides speed booster that they would actually want to see is wave at this point. Still don't have it. Probably at the vanilla gravity location.
For all we know, it's a GT Super, but we are going to find at least 2 majors down in Lorne Warfare. If there's a third, it would tell us heat shields in here, but we're definitely not looking at anything that's like even close to off the beaten path at this point. You would like to see high jump. You would debatably like to see the speed booster, but it's awkward without the high jump boots along with it. And the wave beam would also be pretty nice for a few things, mostly the damage to the end game, which is already pretty good with 600 and the 35 supers that Nevdi has, the 40 that M2 has.
Yeah, that's wild. 40 supers, my goodness. And look at that, the double jump just really paying dividends in this seed. Getting it that early, being able to use it in every area to great effect, saving a lot of time. Menuing, all the above.
Yeah, don't even need to gravity jump there in the Gravitron or Lava Dive ring.
Whew.
Make it up top.
That's a great name for that room. I don't hear it too often anymore, D-Web, so thanks for keeping it alive. Yeah, definitely not a screw attack check here. Nevdi firmly in go mode. I mean, probably won't even see the back of Ridley or Firefly.
I would expect, if we check any items, there's going to be Power Bombs and Shame and Hodorubi and maybe Mickey Mouse? No, that's this one. Maybe Frequency. That's the one I was actually thinking of. But definitely don't need anything.
Great question to chat about double jump unlocking pre-GT. Is that possible, or is it only space jump?
So actually in Dash, you don't actually need anything. That was a decision that they made to just make it a little less silly in potential places, but because of how Dash works and it only really being relevant in full, it's always unlikely to matter. But yeah, you don't need either space jump or anything.
So it doesn't force you into like being able to do a green gate glitch or something like that.
Yeah, and just like that one item being specifically locked by one other item has just a lot of bad potential for silliness that isn't really the purpose of the Dash randomizer.
For sure.
So they said, let there be open acid chozos or something that sounds more royal and prophetic.
I think that sounded plenty royal and prophetic the way it was. D-Web, it was wonderful. What also wonderful was that chronic boost from M2 into the Gravitron, and it's definitely climbed up there with that double jump. Plenty of supers on tap to deal with these metal pirates. Looking for 30 going into Ridley, but a good beam. 600's not bad. That's 2/3 of the full beam combination.
It's also really nice on Ridley because if you want to count to 30 and you miss a super, your charge beam's also doing the same damage. So.
I just really, as you said that, I just realized that it's 1 for 1. You love it.
You count to 30 or you count to 30.
I gotta land 30 of something. 30 supers, 30 charge shots. Doesn't matter. Get it done. Oh, Nevdi unable to manipulate that pogo pattern to get Ridley to turn around. Kind of ran into his tail on that roll under.
Didn't get the turnaround, but did get the continuous pogo. So I think he will end on 1 super if he doesn't miss any more. He might have missed 2, but yeah, that is a very quick dead Ridley. Is making his way through Amphitheater. I feel like we've somewhat neglected to talk about his path, but it's been basically just trailing Nevdi for the majority of this run ever since that Bomb Terizo check. And
a few subtle differences.
Yeah, especially with the ordering, he had to look at Wave Beam because he hadn't scoped that Spazer out of Norfair Reserve, so that was also a little bit of extra time, and the super that was there did not in any way make an impact given our charge beam and Varia find.
For sure, D-Web. Just everything, all those super key items, the charge beam and Varia suit, the grav suit, they were just right there, right for the picking. Routed well. Seed forced them to get them, gave them no opportunities to not get them.
That was a really cute spike hit. Nevdi just a little bit short of a platform on his jump, and with the Kazan coming down, took a little spike hit, and that bumped him high enough. That was really nice freestyling there.
Completely intended by the devs. That's how they expected you to do that room.
So here comes Ridley, number 2 for MM2. He's got the 35 supers. He is going to elect to open with the supers as he had the charge beam all charged up, and he was wall jumping like he was doing the new route strategy. And then he said, "To heck with this. It doesn't really do anything to save time because I'm just gonna blast this guy."
Yep. I do like that kind of that death from above to get that extra shot in right at the beginning. Allow Ridley to take some damage before the fight actually starts. All right, if you check Mickey Mouse, you might as well. Yes.
One of the 2 E-tanks. Yeah. Looked at Hoda Ruby for a power bomb. Nothing collected here in Lore nor Fair, and not going to be any worse for wear.
My goodness, MM2. You blink and you miss it. The Ridley fight's already over. Just damage per second must be in the billions at minimum. At minimum, D-Web.
A billion damage per second. That it sounds mighty powerful.
Well, when Ridley's got 18 billion health, so it takes 18 seconds. It's a short fight, but still, it's 18 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you count the G-forces that those mats at the Olympics are taking when Simone Biles is jumping off them, maybe that's also like a billion damage a second.
Shout out to Team USA.
That's right. Especially with Nevdi, our victor, the very, very proud Australian. We gotta get him where we can, all right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I gotta ask Nevdi about the women's rugby match. What was up with that? But we'll save that for later.
Yes, the Olympics, the 4-year tradition, one of my favorite times of the year. It's so funny. You wake up, it's like 6 a.m. You turn on the TV and they're playing badminton doubles and swimming the 800 butterfly and all kinds of fun stuff.
Oh yes, we kind of have our own Olympics going on right now with Super Metroid. I feel like there's so much Super Metroid action on display here on Speed Gaming.
It's quite rare that we have not 1, not 2, but actually 3 events going on concurrently between this, the Map Randomizer tournament part of SG Live, as well as the Any Percent tournament part of SG Live. So the fans of Super Metroid have been treated with quite the surplus of content for their eyes and ears.
Yeah, no question. And huge shout out to our tracker, Jestro Zooks. These rando category type races.
Hi, it's me, Jestro.
I'm sorry. Oh
I
my
said,
god!
Hi, it's me, Jestro. I love Spood Beaster and stuff.
Oh my god! Special guest commentator and amazing tracker, Salty Pigeon. Salty, my apologies sincerely. He was doing the setup. I thought he was sticking around, so I'm so sorry.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Shout outs to our wonderful tracker and frequent commentator and an established runner in his own right, Salty Pigeon 87. So shout outs to the trackers, especially Salty, for signing up and making these restreams possible.
I think there are worse things you could do in this world than be mistaken for Gesture in the tracking booth. So
D-Web saving my behind. Thank you so much.
I will take the compliment. I totally nailed this one. They all have their items lit up.
That's right. Those buttons have been pressed with maximum efficiency.
Yes,
and look
sir.
at that. All the bosses marked done
grace,
too. That gets me all the time is when I forget to mark bosses because I'm always watching like I'm eating popcorn at the movies. Like, wow, what an amazing fight! And then 5 minutes go by and the boss is still lit up on the tracker.
Definitely the thing I forget the most as well. But Nevdi, with the ship refill, with the excess ammo you have, it does make some sense. Supers are still going to be better DPS than your beam. Despite only dealing 300, you can shoot them much quicker than you can charge a charge shot. So you don't typically see that in vanilla runs, mostly because you either have the most powerful beam or your ammo is such that you're not going to really have that much once you spend it on doors and MB1. But in Randomizer, typically you're going to see that it's worthwhile, but things are a little bit variable. I think I agree overall with Nevdi's decision. It's also refilling all of your health in case like the absolute worst happens. I can tell people is M2 tickles the fish. That's something you also don't see very commonly. But I have taken a triple hit catch up in a practice seed, and that with Nevdi's energy probably still wouldn't spell disaster with that full reserve. So the maximum amount of safety.
Yeah, I mean, you've built up this lead. Obviously, it's it's a blind race. You don't know how your opponent's doing. Would be in sporting, but definitely erring on the side of caution here from Nevdi, and I like the play. Must be feeling like he's played very well. But MM2 is no slouch. MM2, like we said, the only undefeated competitor in Swiss. But barring some sort of catastrophe from Nevdi, they're going to be going into playoffs both at 5-1. Very impressive.
Yes. Actually, I expect Nevdi either thinks that this is really close or he's just behind. Like I was saying, M2 have been putting a little bit more time into this exact event. Nevdi a little bit more split with the map rando, as well as just playing a lot more SM this year in particular. A lot of nice vanilla PBs for MM2. Nevdi was, playing around with like Final Fantasy VII Remake and other stuff, just lounging in the beautiful warmth of Australia.
That's right. Playing these games with cutting edge graphics and spoken dialogue and tutorials that tell you which buttons to press and when. My goodness, who needs all that gobbledygook?
Right. You've got Super Metroid. The last Metroid was thought to be in captivity, and you go from there.
That's right. That's all you're giving.
Metroid.
Go to the space station. Ridley steals the baby, flies to Zebes. Space station explodes. Go find it. That's the whole game. Amazing.
There's just something about Super Metroid, right, Hockey?
There really is. There really is. I mean, I threw in that slight to modern games about, tutorials where it just flashes against the top of the screen exactly what you should do in that circumstance. But yeah, Super Metroid has no training wheels, no nothing. Just figure it out. You can go through.
If you don't know there's a run button, you're gonna get that bridge, and you're gonna figure it out, or you're gonna give up on the game for 20 years and complain on Reddit.
Exactly, and you're gonna find out, like, you know what? I never found the Edakuns with the Decora. I didn't know you could wall jump or Shine Spark. I didn't know you could do that. I beat the game without some of the major items. Beat it without Plasma Beam.
One of those things about this game, as we see on our tracker, there are several items not lit up, and you really don't necessarily need all of them. Even some of the items they have, you can forego with some skill or some sequence breaking or some advanced technology, some crazy tricks, some extremely exquisite movements. And
oh yes. Now, we did see, with no wave beam, Nevdi remembering to face up and freeze that Rinka in order to get that ice Zeb skip. So heads up play there.
Also saw MM2 forego that ship save, and you can see the other thing about the excess ammo that you have, Nevdi was kind of able to just kill the Metroids and keep it moving. MM2 with quite a few grouping strats in most of the rooms, and still only ends up with 25-9. It's a little bit slower on the Metroid rooms, and also he is not going to have basically any noteworthy ammo for the Mother Brain 2 fight, where Nevdi's got this 5+19 action to just shoot 3 of those missiles as well as those supers, and that'd be a third of the fight right there.
19 more than enough to just end Mother Brain 2 very quickly upon entering that catch-up phase. And just like Ridley, this is the same amount of shots, right? 606 or no double damage on Mother Brain. Got my wires crossed. Must be a different tournament going on right now.
Yes, just a regular super missile damage to Mother Brain 2, but the same amount of health, 18,000, and she is dead as soon as she came to life. Very, very fast fight here from Nevdi.
That's terrific. MM2 also going for this Zeb ice skip there. Very nicely done. Just before the Rinka unfreezes.
Did not turn off the screw attack, which I believe Nevdi probably did, so had to go for that down back skip, the traditional ice skip. It does not work because of the need for iframes and how screw attack works. But yeah.
Good call. Very nice reload. Yeah, screw attack will reset those iframes. I wonder when Nevdi turned them on. Maybe they're doing the elevator cutscene heading down into Torian.
So 30 shots for MM2 as Mother Brain 2 rises as she falls. A little bit of poetic imagery here for you on a Friday night.
The duality of Mother Brain. We're seeing it right here in D-Web.
That's right. Not enough tanks for either of our runners to try the stand-up glitch. So we're just going to chill out, probably look at that race room, seeing your opponent. If they're close to you, if they've already finished, if you're going to be sweating and heart racing in this escape. There's a little bit slower escape with basically no movement items. The double jump, not necessarily super helpful. Screw attack, which M2 has on, does have some utility in the Leodox room, but you can't shine spark in escape room 3. You can't shine spark up the climb. You don't have high jump boots. To jump higher, you gotta work with the kit you got.
Yeah, gonna be able to see those that ledge grab wall. I should say that ledge grab climb from Nevdi, the Just Defend climb, or the Behemoth climb. Depends on what side of the. It'd be the International Dateline or the Prime Meridian. T-Web, I'm not sure.
You can
which
pick
side of the
either.
Atlantic you're on.
Right. Definitely the case that I think most people like to go for a wall jump in the escape because you don't have to deal with enemies, so you just kind of jump. I don't think I've ever seen a ledge grab climb escape, but it'd be kind of cool though, honestly.
Maybe we will. I don't know.
Especially, it's like a Michael Bay movie. You got all this steam and fireworks around you, like just maximum tension, maximum visual flair.
Yeah, taking the road less traveled here, D-Web. This is what has made all the difference with no speed booster. And those stairs trip me up. I never knew that those were a diagonal until recently. I thought you'd actually have to jump up them, but you just run straight up them. You know what I mean?
Some of these pirates. Yeah, I mean, stairs definitely, if you just kind of try to walk the same way you would on a normal level floor, if you're a normal human, unlike Samus, you're probably not going to be too happy about the effect of stairs on your toes and shins, in other words. But yeah, in a video game, sometimes it's aesthetics only.
Oh, the left side. Oh, I love this. Very nice, Nevdi.
Pretty clean so far. Only one little hitch. I don't know how people manage to wall jump in a way that the platforms are never in their way when they go right. I need to figure that out, but very, very nicely done. Got this climb up parlor. Also, really nice wall jumps and down grabs. Like, Nevdi, I mean, again, he's probably been sweating for since he got in the Mother Brain 2 cutscene, but as it turns out, the race well run by him is going to result in a victory with an official race time of 56 minutes and 34 seconds.
GG's, Nevdi. Hot time. But MM2 shortly behind on the escape, heading into the Leo room. But
Indeed.
I believe our runners are going to join us for an interview. We're just waiting for them to pop in.
There they are. Our esteemed friend from Down Under and Victor Nevdi, as well as MM2. GG's to you both.
GG's.
GG.
GG. So good to hear your voice, Hockey.
Oh
I'm
my
so
goodness,
happy you're
Nevdi.
here, dude.
What a guy. What a guy, Nevdi. I'm happy to
You
be
too,
here.
DJ. You too, DJ.
A warm, cozy hug from an old friend on a Friday night. What could
No
be better?
question.
Unless it's Saturday, I guess.
I mean, I
Maybe
could have asked
Sunday.
for a better mode, but okay, I had my one. Okay, I had my one joke. I'm not going to say anything more about the mode.
Okay.
At least, I know
Bubbles
we're
down.
not a fan of it, but at least we ran it the same way. Like, it's more. This is always annoying when someone goes up and someone goes down, but I knew that wasn't going to be the case, so I just knew that we're on similar paths. So it turned out to be relatively close anyway. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
We talked
Yeah.
in the booth before and sort of understand what it was, but I guess you can clarify. But it seems like the BT skip and up and Norfair management was probably the 1 minute or whatever.
yeah, like minute and a half or whatever.
Yeah, M2 with an official race time, 57 minutes and 56 seconds. Yeah, so BT,
zone.
Nevdi, you saw your final major was whatever was it, wave missile, I guess that was double jump, so you didn't have to go into wave beam where M2 had the Spazer as his last one. So that was a little bit different. A few issues in Everest as well.
Spazer? What?
Oh
So
yeah.
the last
Oh,
major M2
yeah,
found was
okay.
Phaser.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the last
in
one
upper,
that you
in upper
yeah.
north,
saw.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, top left. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Scouted Ice Beam at Croc Escape, and yeah.
And yeah, that was the other thing. The E tank. It's funny because I was praising him too because it's like the old major minor wisdom of go ice first and then you can get an E tank at high jump and refill your energy. Not only was that not of any consequence, but the E tank was at Crumble Shaft and Nevdi you did that second,
Yeah.
so you came out of
Yeah.
there with basically full health where M2 did not, and that's quite a bit of farming in Business Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
The
more I
management of
wanted.
like.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nevdi.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say that idea of the E tank comes up more in like a major minor.
Yeah.
In full, I don't really play it that way, just because it's not a high chance of an E tank. But that made a big difference by the sound of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted 2 missile drops or a missile pack in 5 checks, and it didn't happen. So yeah.
That's rough.
So yeah, I had to farm Business Center a bunch looking for missiles, and then I misrouted Bubble Mountain because I misjudged how far I could get into North Reserve with my health. So
Yeah, there is a lot of time in Bubble as well without Varia. Like, it's pretty deceptive. I think that was one thing. Oh, in the multicat I was trying to like clean on my game is like how to do Upper Norfair without Varia, because the time difference when I was watching between Zeb and I was absurd. So I worked on that a lot. But sometimes it doesn't matter what you do. If you don't get the drops or the items on path, it's just, it's pretty bad. And it sounds like if you didn't get either of them, you can't get the Crystal Flash, and then you just look like an idiot farming there for so long.
Yeah. Also, Kaizenton just pinged me, and I think that my theory is correct that the Everest incident was a dash bug with the wall jump underwater into a double jump. Well,
we did see Kaisertude say something about that in chat.
Yeah. At least
what was it?
I was trying to get up the right side of Everest with like a wall jump into double jump, and it wasn't working. And I swore I was hitting the timing right. And
yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I got up there. We must have jumped in different spots or something. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh well. It was only like 30 seconds. So, but yeah, I forgot about that.
Bit of a weird position for us, I think, in this race. Like, I think for both of us, it's better. It's better for me to lose this.
Yes, I agree. We've seen
I did not mention anything of such things on commentary, and I also didn't expect that. Obviously we're not playing for any money, and we're all very prideful, and we want to talk trash and something. So there was never going to be any collusion, but yeah, those of us.
No way us competitive people can ever throw a race. It's just like
no.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean it's just like physically. Even if you look at the path.
Yeah. If Nevdi threw the race, then I would not be happy at all.
Exactly.
But also, I wouldn't really be mad because then I could like just throw this race out and get to race a better mode.
Yeah.
But
very good point.
I think. Better for me to lose, but I think the stakes of this race are pretty big. Like, I think that this is MM2 and I have been excited about this for a while. There's a lot of stuff going on with who won this one. I think MM2 hasn't dropped a Swiss in 3 years. I don't know whatever the last one was.
I haven't dropped a Swiss match in 2 years. So
wow.
That was to
104 weeks MM2.
Yeah, let's just say that. Yeah, let's not see how much SM we played in that time. But it's very, very impressive, and we've all been talking, and I think that MM2, you are still my favorite. I think that you have a really good grasp on this mode, and given a best of 3 situation, you probably have the edge over me. It's just that this single BO1 today just came up in. Okay. No, don't agree with me. No.
No, Nevdi, I do think I'm better than you. I just got screwed by the mode. So we should just re-race right now and
oh my god,
play major minor area boss best of 3, and I'll beat you 2 out.
Sounds good. Racing for pink slips after the sun goes down. My goodness.
Sometimes it's for honor, sometimes it's for glory. Sometimes it's to, punch somebody in the ribs, apparently.
Right to the liver shot, D-Web. Oh my goodness. So
But
Glove in
yeah.
chat saying this was critical for her that Nevdi win this.
I did this for Glove. I did this for Glove.
Did it for
Yeah,
Glove.
Mhm.
did it for Glove.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
yeah.
there-
Anyways, I'm excited to see you in semifinals, Nevdi. After you beat Audra and I beat Zeb in our first matchups.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
assuming they both win round one.
Yeah,
I'm
against
gonna-
MM2, we are like, I don't know what
Yeah.
we've done. I can't believe we've done this.
Yeah, what? Yeah. Honestly, we really should have colluded.
But it's been a
There's-
really sick mode in tournament. There's been like a lot of SM for me this year. I'm like very, very happy. Do I get one seed from this, or is it Farfalu? Like, what's the
No,
go?
Yeah, you
I
get-
told you all week, and I was wrong because I won, and I gave him a point that he needed that he was also going to get from Glove
Yeah.
Dang, and yeah, so Farfalu's the one seed.
Yeah, Farfalu is one
Damn
seed,
it!
you're 2 seed.
Oh,
I'm
this
3
is
seed,
useless.
which is actually kind of funny because I beat Farfalu head to head, but I'm still seated lower than him.
I'm also one seed above someone who beat me
Yeah.
head to head.
It's okay. The person you get to blame for that is me because I forgot to include head to head in Swiss score like you're supposed to. So
Oh no.
it's
It's
all
kind of
over.
like
We have to
the-
redo the Swiss stage.
Leaned onto Book holds just a little too hard, MM2.
Yep.
That's it. Reset everything. 6 more weeks of Swiss.
No,
We
my
play forever.
goodness.
See y'all mid September.
Roll it back. Roll it back
The,
and run it back.
The single elim though, like it is the format is there to just see who the best is, like see who the winner is of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have that 1 to 5 ranking or whatever. So it is just whoever you get, you just gotta, if you want to win the whole thing, you just gotta,
Yeah.
get who you get and get through it.
Yeah, I mean that's just how it
playoffs,
goes.
really. That's just the playoff mode. So excited either way. I don't know how confident I am going forward. I'm again really happy here, and there's a lot of time spent in map rando and everything. But I do really like this mode in tournament, and I'm still looking, very forward to it. And I think that it's going to be really hype. I think that playoffs are going to be sick.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also excited to see if we can better this mode with the poll that will be going out soon. TM. Which soon TM is once I get off of this and get it out. Hopefully.
I'm just gonna say though, if obviously neither of you necessarily happy with the seed you got, but Nevdi does at least get a bye to hopefully aid in some scheduling because you're also in another tournament. So that's like
Nice.
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
one
We both-
good thing.
yeah.
Nice.
Well, we
Yeah,
both
that's
get
true.
a buy.
Well, Nevdi didn't get a bye if he lost. That's the
oh, true.
the difference.
True. Yeah, he
Okay,
did.
yeah.
True.
That is nice, actually.
Nicely raced. It was very entertaining. Looking forward to seeing you both in playoff action. And I stressed this during the broadcast, but I just want to revisit it. Shout outs to Salty Pigeon. I may have said the wrong name. I may have meant to say his name, but I didn't. I had a total brain fart, but really, Salty Pigeon and the rest of our trackers do make these restreams possible. So,
Hey,
can't
yeah,
say
don't
enough
worry
good
about
things
it.
them.
I am Jestro.
Oh my, you are now. You are
Yeah.
now, Salty. Jestro version 2.0.
Look it and ship it, baby. Let's go.
Jestro Pigeon or Salty Zooks. I don't know. Doesn't really roll off the tongue very well.
Nah, maybe I'll just stay a commentator. But at least I pressed all the buttons the right way.
You sure did. We appreciate it very much, Salty. It's able to get these races broadcast, and what an exciting one Nevdi and MM2 gave us. So, MM2, Nevdi, any closing remarks heading into the playoffs at the end of Swiss?
Nevdi, you suck, and I'm going to beat you in semifinals.
And you're so lucky that you got this far, and you deserve to lose at the end.
Oh my!
Well, Nevdi wins the accent competition at least, but we'll have to wait for the playoffs.
True that.
Yeah,
The people's
Nevdi,
champion.
this will make a lot more sense on the rewatch, but just like look at like what's going on in Paris and count your gold medals.
What do you mean?
Like I said, it'll make more sense after you rewatch it.
D-Web.
USA, baby. USA.
So cryptic, D-Web.
Oh, I
Oh,
get
no.
it.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, dude.
D-Web, take us on out of here.
Yes, that is the final match, the grand finale, the supreme match of the Swiss portion of the mystery tournament here in 2024. Shortly, we will be commencing with the bracket. It is a 32-person bracket with 29 entrants, so both of our runners, as well as I believe Nick Player, will be receiving buys for round one. Hopefully, we'll get some matches for you shortly in the next few days, but it's a best-of-3 single elimination format. And we are excited. It should be very, very fun. Lots of very interesting matchups, especially like both of our runners were talking about, even as soon as round 2. But round 1, even, there's going to be some really, really fun stuff going on. And as a competitor and a commentator and a tracker and a viewer, I know that I am definitely excited. So hopefully all of you out there in Speed Gaming Land will be looking forward to that. Until then, for Salty and the Hockey Towner, I am DJ Submission.